Good morning, everyone, and welcome on another Sunday to Coastal Connections with Courtney. Here we are at the Stennis International Airport. Today we get to meet with CEO Mr. Blaine LaFontaine. Good morning, everyone, and welcome on another Sunday to Coastal Connections with Courtney. Here we are at Hancock Port and Harbor with the CEO, Mr. Blaine.
Welcome. Thank you, Courtney, for coming to visit with us today in Hancock County. We look forward to sharing some updates and educating a little more about what the future looks like here in Hancock County with all that we have to offer.
Well, Mr. Blaine, you've been doing this for 2 years now. There are so many things in the works that have already happened. Can you tell me and start with the history so that I understand it a little bit better?
Absolutely. Hancock County is very unique, going back 200 years. And so originally, a lot of our economy was built off of a lot of the seafood industry and timber industry, really through the early 1900s. But in 1961, a lot of that started to change with the announcement of NASA John Stennis Space Center. And so when that announcement came, you also had the Diamond Head announce its growth from a subdivision and planned development. But really our forefathers here, 1963, worked with our legislature and created the statute for the Hancock County Port and Harbor Commission. And so in 1965, we actually hired Michael Baker to condition a master study to really plan where a port and an airport would go on the heels of the NASA announcement. And so we sit today thanks to a study for $12,000 in 1960s that basically laid out strategically where Port Bienville would be located. And in 1967, roughly, 2,200 acres was purchased. And then in 1969, the airport was founded on the eastern portion of the buffer zone here where we are today. And so Hancock County really began to flourish in terms of an industrial county. And so we have evolved with a cluster of polymers, chemical, aerospace, aviation, light manufacturing. And so if you look at a lot of those trends, a lot of decisions and investments from the federal level, state level, and local level have served us well for 50 plus years. And so Hancock Port and Harbor today operates with about a $32 million a year capital improvement plan, and then about a $14 million a year operating budget. So altogether this year we have a $46 million proposed budget. And we are a very unique organization in the state, in the southeast, where we're the only entity that really operates a Class 3 short line railroad in Port Bienville. Then we have our port that we operate and oversee, and then we have our Stennis International Airport here in Kill, Mississippi as well. And then while doing all those things, we also work closely with our partners strategically in the municipalities of Bay St. Louis, Waveland, and Diamond Head, as we work with them on a lot of commercial and retail recruitment. And so we're served by an 8-member board of commission that's appointed by 5 of them are appointed by the supervisors, and 3 work with Governor and Governor Reeves on appointments that serve 4-year terms. So we have an 8-member board that we work very closely with. And so, again, we're just a complex organization that covers a wide variety of operations, development, and industry service with workforce and commercial and retail recruitment. So we're extremely proud of our brand. And proud of what role we serve in the Mississippi Gulf Coast, but in Mississippi overall as well.
Well, are you actually from this area? Because I know you're younger, you have a family, and you've had a lot of experience yourself in the political area. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I can. I will do my best to keep
I
that
think it's very
to a few minutes.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm from Hancock County, from
Okay.
Mississippi. My actually Bayou Caddy, where the Silver Slipper and close to Port Bienville is basically been my family land and family for over 200 years, Cadet LaFontaine, and so I've got deep roots to the Mississippi Gulf Coast and deep roots to Hancock County. But I'm a graduate of Hancock High School, graduate of Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, and graduate of USM and their master's program for economic development and industrial engineering as well. Spent the past 10 years really traveling throughout all 82 counties in Mississippi, working within some of the wastewater industry, working with a lot of light manufacturers and process manufacturing on the private sector side. And while I was doing that, also married to my wife, Heather. We have 3 daughters that are 14, 9, and 5, Kylie, Chloe, and Kate. And so,
I love that.
So they keep us busy when I'm
Yeah.
not working on, obviously, Hancock County Port and Harbor's initiatives and goals. But I, from the area, also while I was working and trying to stay active with our family and all their priorities, I also had spent some time in 2013, got elected to Diamond Head City Council, spent 2016 through 2019 working and getting elected and serving in a role as president of the Hancock County Board of Supervisors, which during that tenure allowed me to really get to know Hancock County Port and Harbor Commission. So as president of the Board of Supervisors, you work very closely with this organization because of obviously the priorities and the budget adoption and things like that as we were created in 1963 by statute. So in my role there, I think it served me well to be very knowledgeable about trends and priorities for this organization. And then I actually went and worked for Pearl River County for a year and a half on their economic director. So helping set up a foundation, helping set up their strategic plan, helping with industrial recruitments.
Yeah, it all helped contribute to where you are
So
today.
and then I was very fortunate and blessed to be able to get the opportunity to come back and work for this organization in 2021. And then my role here has evolved to obviously today executive director and CEO. So I hope to be here for a long time as, you know, the history, my roots, and I think what's important in this role is having ownership on what the future outcomes may be. So hopefully if we do a good job and I do a good job with our partners here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, with the other economic development organizations, hopefully 10 years from now as we look back, we'll have a better economy and better opportunities for future generations, such as my children. So.
Well, you have such a large array of a background, and you've been doing this for 2 years. What are the responsibilities for as a CEO of such a huge corporation?
A lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And so specifically the daily operations of obviously the airport, the port and railroad, but more importantly, looking at execution and planning and outreach from a capital improvements to federal and state grants to our partner agencies that may range from Stennis Space Center, MSET to Mississippi Power to Cooperative Energy to really Harrison County Development Commission and Jackson County. So we cover every range of planning and execution from operations to capital management to obviously recruitment of industry and new industry to the area. So that is a broad range, but it evolves daily, evolves weekly, and so again, this is a complex organization in comparison to other areas, but we think we are on the right track.
Absolutely, I believe that. And it is a complex. There you could study up on it, read it as much as you want, but there's a lot that goes into this. You mentioned your board, and you've mentioned teamwork, and you have a whole staff that's all contributing to the growth. And how exactly has this contributed to the development in the economy today?
Absolutely. So first, I can start off at Stennis International Airport, right? Stennis International has seen substantial opportunity and growth really over the last decade. And so post-Katrina, it really started to evolve beyond just a general aviation airport. And so where we are today, we have a large presence here and footprint of DoD programs, FMS programs that work closely with NAVAIR and our federal agency and partners. So a lot of job creation and a lot of opportunity there that we continue to see growth opportunities and demand. We also have a pretty large capital improvement program as we work very closely with our coastal delegation in the Senate and House. We've got some great team members there and partners. We also work very closely with our federal agency and congressional delegation. And so we are seeing a record amount of capital improvement here that range from KCDBG projects that we have about $4.6 million programmed there. We also have some FAA funds for airport improvement program funds dedicated to about 150,000 square foot of apron expansion. That ranges in about $6 million in capital investment that we're trying to wrap up this year. We also have ongoing, we have some multimodal through MDOT funds that we're looking at, some general hangar development that we're looking to build this year through a design-build method. That'll help us bring in some new long-term contracts and tenants as well. And then in addition to that, despite all those things, we also have about $8.6 million dedicated across a variety of grant programs through Gulf Coast Restoration Funds, through DEQ and Restore Funds, through Governor Reeves, that are dedicated for our tech park. And so we have a Stennis Technology Park that conceptually was put in place in 2020. We are looking forward to going to bid, hopefully no later than this summer, on our first phase of that, which will be a 10,000 square foot facility for an existing industry here to help grow some of their jobs and opportunity. And in addition, we have some other funds remaining that will start working on site development and a master plan and marketing for opportunities there for private sector to come in, hopefully add light manufacturing that could range from, warehouse distribution all the way to UAS and unmanned systems for manufacturing. So we're very optimistic and grateful for the continued support from our coast delegation, the federal delegation, as they have bought into, I think, the vision here across multiple administrations, and we'll continue to try to execute that.
Well, this is so interesting. I've already learned so much, and we've touched on so many different things, but we need to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
World-famous dance crew, the Jabberwockies, is coming to Beau Rivage this summer with their newest show, Timeless. Visit BeauRivage.com for tickets and VIP packages.
Thank you for calling J. Allen Toyota Service.
This is what happens when you set an appointment at J. Allen Toyota Service. We will order the part right then, so it'll be here when your appointment comes. Our greeter staff will greet you quickly and friendly and top off your fluids before your car even leaves the drive. Then your car will go to one of our 6 two-man express teams or one of our 10 certified technicians so they can get you back on the road safely and quickly. This is service the way it should be at J. Allen Toyota Service.
Thank you, South Mississippi, for making us your #1 Ford dealer on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. 39 years strong of quality sales, service, and parts. Don't forget, we'll beat your best deal regardless.
Visit the Gulf Coast's newest casino.
Come in today and experience the beautiful smoke-free Beachview Casino.
Pick your game. We have your favorite slots and table games and a sports book.
Enjoy incredible views while you dine at one of our many restaurants.
And grab a drink while you enjoy live entertainment every weekend in the heart of the action.
The Gulf Coast's newest, the smoke-free Beachview Casino Resort, Gulfport.
Are a beacon of healing, resolute and consistent, determined. We are problem solvers, driven to overcoming obstacles, unshakable. We are prepared, capable, experienced, unbeatable. We are a network of people providing care throughout your lifetime. We are believers in the healing power of compassion. We are Memorial.
So here we are back from the break, and Mr. Blaine, you know, you have touched on the history, you have put all of it in a nutshell, but I want to understand, tell me a little bit about Port Bienville.
Absolutely. Port Bienville was originally, as we stated, in 1965, the first land that the county purchased, 2,200 acres then. It has evolved over the recent years with new land acquisition up to about 3,600 acres. We have about 16 tenants down there, 16 industries, probably approaching about 800 employees, and tremendous opportunity. Over the recent years, you've had a lot of, about 20 million in capital improvements to new dock facilities. So that has been in large part due to the Restore grant funding and some other coast funds that have come down from the state of Mississippi for some strategic investment. In addition to that, we also currently, just this February, were announced with a port improvement fund for $2 million. So we're looking at adding some new warehouse capacity for the first time in 20 years. So we're looking to build about a $3 million warehouse down there that will expand our capacity by another 30,000 square feet. We're working closely with our partner agencies on looking at utilizing the American Rescue Plan funds and ARPA funds, working with our state and MDQ and our local utility districts. So we're looking at adding another well and tank for the first time in 30 years down there, which will really be a significant benefit to the organization to help us with our new industry recruitment. All the time we see RFIs and things come into us that or exist in industry expansion that help us obviously and need to address some of the deficiencies there and help us by getting new utility improvements. So ARPA, we're working on that. I think that'll be about a $4.6 million project. In addition to that, we have worked over the last year with our federal partners and Governor Reeves on dedicating some matching state funds for a phase 1 of intermodal yard project. We're trying to grow our railroad storage capacity. So as we're looking at new industry or existing industry demands that have evolved over the last several years, one of our biggest priorities in operations and revenue generation is off of our railroad. We have what we consider to be one of the best railroads in the state of Mississippi.
Absolutely.
And so at the end of the day, we are trying to strategically invest, and we have worked with the governor on identifying some funds, and we're working with our federal partners on looking at a $14.6 million phase 1 railroad intermodal yard, which will expand our rail capacity by about 220 cars. So even if we get funded on that this year, hopefully, with our ask is $7.3 million, hopefully we can have that constructed and built out by 2025 or 2026. And in addition,
And you feel good about it?
We do. We think we've done everything we can from a project-ready standpoint. In addition, with the state's partnership,
That's going to be huge opportunities and growth.
Absolutely. So, and then we also currently have about a $6 million project that we've been working with the Federal Maritime Administration. We had a grant award in 2021 for $4 million. So we're looking at a $6 million project that we hope to start this summer or fall, constructing a new 150 rail car storage yard. So if we had a vision for that, it's that by growing the rail in capacity, we can serve a regional need and help us with new industry recruitment and our existing tenants' demand as well. So we're aggressively pursuing trying to grow that railroad storage yard. So you've got utilities, you've got warehouse development, you've got new dock facilities, and you have a plan and a planned growth on trying to grow rail storage. So
those are a lot of projects going on right now, and you're thinking 2025 it could possibly be completed?
That's what we're hoping for. And so if you look at Port of Gulfport in Mississippi's kind of freight plan, and if you look at Port of Gulfport's new plan, we think Port Bienville can continue to serve in the region as an inland strategic partner for the movement of freight, rail freight, or hopefully warehousing. So again, we're aggressively working on this.
Well, what distinguishes Port Bienville than other ports?
Yeah, we're more distinguished because I think we have a lot of land, and you have an existing industry base, and we can touch on every mode of transportation there. We've got a significant volume of TEUs and truck traffic that comes in out of Port of New Orleans. You have existing industries that obviously bring inbound and outbound by rail, but then we also have a lot of raw materials or inbound or outbound that comes in the form of barge traffic. So, and that may range from Port of New Orleans to Port of Gulfport. So it's just a very unique mix of land, existing industry base, and I think the assets that are there and the continued strategic investment.
Right, it makes it special. And you know, as I was driving, and I've always heard about the Stennis International Airport, has it just recently been remodeled? Because I got a tour and it is so nice.
It is. It's post-Katrina, and in even more recent years, we continue to have new facilities and again grant funds to improve the infrastructure all around it. So as we mentioned about the tech park, and as we mentioned about potential opportunities related to other site development or third-party development, I don't see the momentum at Stennis International slowing down.
I love that. And, you know, right near it is, I don't want to hear about this, the Stennis Space Center?
Absolutely. So, as we mentioned, the Port and Harbor was created on the heels of the announcement for Stennis Space Center here in Hancock County back in the 60s. So we have been the lead partner for Stennis Space Center for a long time. And more importantly today, if you look at it, our role there is as we work with the industry on obviously statutory incentives as a partner, we often serve as a local sponsor for companies like recently there was announced Rocket Lab is taking over one of the A-test stands there in a long-term lease. They're looking at investing $30 million and creating about 40 jobs, hopefully this year. And we're serving as a partner with the state of Mississippi and MDA on that grant from the state. But then you have companies like Relativity that are evolving, they're growing, and we envision a big expansion and capability for them at some point in the future. But we serve as a local sponsor on those ACE grants as well. And then we work closely with Perver Community College and our other partners, Accelerate Mississippi, to help fill some of these workforce needs. Hancock County Port and Harbor Commission created a tuition assistance program over the last 2 years to try to help every graduating senior in Hancock County have an opportunity and a path towards skilled or vocational certifications or associate degree professionals, and hopefully place them in these types of jobs of the future at Stennis Space Center. So, and then we also are working closely with MDA and NASA overall and MSET to kind of look at what evolves with Stennis Space Center in terms of the federal city concept and hopefully how that can better serve this county and the region as we look to try to continue to grow demand and opportunities there at Stennis Space Center because it's such a unique
it is.
Unique
I got
asset.
a tour. I was like, I would have never known all this was going on right
Absolutely.
here in the South. And then I'm from Harrison County, and this is very, very interesting for me, even though we're neighbors, with Hancock County and Harrison County. But I'm starting to get, a good overview and understanding. Mm-hmm. What does the future look like in addition to all of the things that have already happened?
Yes. So as you've kind of heard today, right, this organization has really done a good job and continues to do a great job working with our key partners, the key industries, whether that's at Stennis or the port. And we have a very aggressive capital plan that has really had the buy-in from our legislative delegation as well as our federal partners and the congressional delegation. So we'll continue carrying that momentum. But for us, we've just brought some new staff on board. We've got a new deputy director. We have a new director of development, and we're really excited about trying to put together a 36 to 48 month kind of strategic action plan that can range on a new business development strategy and trying to grow some of the opportunities as it relates to our commercial outreach to try to target certain things for redevelopment with the cities. And then, tourism, economy, and other opportunities there. And so this organization, I believe, if we look ahead, it will really focus on business development for the county overall moving forward. We'll continue our efforts with workforce. We'll continue our efforts with existing industry. But I'm really excited about, obviously, trying to put a plan on paper and starting to execute that plan. And so we look forward to sharing that plan with our commission and the county, hopefully in June or July. Okay. And so, adopting that, I think, will be a significant step forward for us in trying to carry the momentum forward and focus on our future.
Well, I'm excited. The momentum is definitely happening right here. And you mentioned that newer staff, you have different people in new positions. Mm-hmm. And I would say you're fairly new. After 2 years, everything I've just learned, so many things have happened that I wasn't even, aware of. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity and for your staff and all of the growth that you're contributing to the development as well as the economy.
Thank you. Thank you for visiting today.
Yes.
And we look forward to any opportunity to continue to share our story moving forward.
Absolutely. And thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to get to know you.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in on another Sunday to Coastal Connections with Courtney.
Thank you for calling J. Allen Toyota Service.
This is what happens when you set an appointment at J. Allen Toyota Service. We will order the part right then, so it'll be here when your appointment comes. Our greeter staff will greet you quickly and friendly and top off your fluids before your car even leaves the drive. Then your car will go to one of our 6 two-man express teams or one of our 10 certified technicians so they can get you back on the road safely and quickly. This is service the way it should be at J. Allen Toyota Service.
Thank you, South Mississippi, for making us your #1 Ford dealer on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. 39 years strong of quality sales, service, and parts. Don't forget, we'll beat your best deal regardless.
Visit the Gulf Coast's newest casino.
Come in today and experience the beautiful smoke-free Beachview Casino.
Pick your game. We have your favorite slots and table games and a sports book.
Enjoy incredible views while you dine at one of our many restaurants.
And grab a drink while you enjoy live entertainment every weekend in the heart of the action.
The Gulf Coast's newest, the smoke-free Beachview Casino Resort, Gulfport.